The city of Charlotte, North Carolina has passed a new law that will fine landlords $500 a day for not renting to Section 8 tenants. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's going over one of my favorite topics. That's Section 8, okay? Now, obviously, I am a Section 8 landlord. I have Section 8 tenants in some of my units, and I am not 100% opposed to the program. However, I believe that it should be something that is voluntary, and that if a landlord doesn't want to participate in that program, they shouldn't have to. Now, obviously, the far left progressive people, they believe that landlords should have to rent to these Section 8 tenants because they think that will somehow ease the housing crisis, not taking into consideration the fact that, hey, a lot of landlords, they've been burned by Section 8 programs before. I can tell you right now, if you look back at my costs for the last Section 8 inspection I had, I spent over $1,000 fixing minor stuff so that my property could pass the Section 8 inspection, okay? And a lot of landlords, they don't like to jump through those same hoops. Now, obviously, I don't mind. I like to have my property in tip-top shape most of the time, and I didn't think it was a big expense, but that's not the case for every single landlord. And they know they can get plenty of tenants in there where they don't have to get the place inspected, and they can just rent it out as is. So yeah, obviously, if you're a landlord, you shouldn't be forced to comply with the ridiculous program. Not only that, but hey, a lot of Section 8 tenants are not the highest quality of tenants, okay? And people have had lots of problems with Section 8 tenants tearing up properties and not paying their small, tiny portion of the rent that they have to pay even. So, if a landlord doesn't want to deal with that, they shouldn't have to. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, okay? What do you think of Charlotte, North Carolina fining landlords for not accepting Section 8 tenants? Okay, do you think this is going to work? Do you think this is going to suddenly change the minds of landlords and, make them rent to Section 8 when they wouldn't before? Or do you think it's a complete waste of time? I'll tell you right now that most landlords, what they will do is, they won't just flat out say, hey, I'm rejecting this person because they are Section 8. Instead, they'll come up with other reasons to reject that tenant. Or they might not tell them anything at all. That's one of my things right there. I am inundated with quality tenants for my units, right? So I don't have to write a, specific letter, at least not in the places where I invest. I don't have to write a letter explaining why I did not accept these people, okay? My simple answer, if they even ask, is a better qualified tenant applied, and that is who I rented it to. Okay, that is my simple answer. Now, in some jurisdictions, you do have to provide them with some sort of an explanation, but there's always, a good number of excuses and reasons why a landlord can say that they rejected someone, whether that it was actually for Section 8 or not. So anyway, this article is coming from the Charlotte Observer, and it says, under new policy, some Charlotte landlords would be fined for not renting to voucher holders. Yeah. Okay, so this is pretty common nowadays, these laws that require landlords to rent to Section 8 tenants. So let's get into this article and see what it says. Some developers would be fined hundreds of dollars for refusing to rent to voucher holders if Charlotte City Council approves a policy up for a vote Monday night. The policy says developers or housing providers who deny renters who use what are known as Section 8 vouchers could receive a warning or fines. The vouchers provide a federally funded subsidy to assist tenant in rent payment. The policy would only apply to landlords and developers who receive city subsidies. The policy was spearheaded by City Councilwoman Victoria Watlington, with the purpose of providing opportunities for individuals and families to obtain safe, quality, affordable housing, city documents read. So in that third paragraph, it said a pretty key fact, okay? It only applies to developers and landlords who receive city subsidies. So for the regular landlords, the guys who are just going off and buying properties, they don't fall under this new policy that they're trying to pass. That's fortunate. However, I don't like it when I hear that any landlord is being forced to comply with these rules, because guess what? They are going to expand that to include the landlords who don't receive city subsidies at some point if they can get this law passed. That's why they have to stop it now. Okay, stop it now. Before it gets to the point where, hey, oh, well, it worked over here, so now we're going to force the other private land. No. See, that's the problem. When they pass these laws, they're just trying to get a foothold in there into the public's minds, and then they can slowly expand them until all landlords have to comply at some point. Anyone who violates the policy would receive a written notice and undergo mandatory compliance training. A second violation would result in another training and a daily $500 fee until the violation is fixed. So, yeah, $500 a day after the second violation until the violation is fixed. So how are you supposed to fix to it? You instantly have to accept every Section 8 tenant? I mean, they don't really make an explanation of how that's going to work in this article. But $500 until it's fixed. Okay, well, if it's one tenant, that's one thing. But do you have to now fill all your vacant units with Section 8? Is that how does this work? If a housing provider violates the policy a third time, they will receive a written notification of default under the agreement between the city and the developer, which will provide a time period to cure the violation. Charlotte severely lacks affordable housing, as just 1% of apartments in Mecklenburg County rent for less than $1,000 per month. Yeah, well, most places are going through this affordable housing crisis right now, okay? There is a shortage of very affordable homes. What I don't think will help resolve that, though, is forcing landlords to accept tenants that they don't want. Okay, that's not going to solve anything. Rent control won't solve anything either. Obvious solution is we need more housing, okay? The more housing there is, the lower the costs will be. And that is a good thing, okay? So if they want to get off their butts, allow more development, allow more rental properties to get out there on the market, then we're going to see lower cost housing. But we need a lot more, okay? We're not talking about, a few little projects here or there by some nonprofits, okay? We're talking about, private developers building thousands and thousands of units. That's what cities need. While Section 8 vouchers, also known as housing choice vouchers, provide additional support for the renter, 1 in 5 renters who get a voucher return it after failing to secure housing within the search period. Under the federal housing program, renters in Charlotte can wait up to 8 years before it's their turn for a voucher and then have 180 days to find housing. And the truth is, that is a pretty sad statistic right there, okay? When they say 1 in 5 renters who get a voucher return it because they're not able to find housing. But they need to ask themselves, why? Why is it that landlords don't want to rent to Section 8 tenants? And I guarantee that it has to do with, number one, government bureaucracy, okay? Landlords don't want to have to deal with the bureaucracy involved in these affordable housing programs. They don't. They know they're going to have to jump through all these additional hoops, wait extra time period. And in the end, the government is the one who controls whether you get paid or not. Plus, there's additional restrictions on how you can evict tenants. I mean, there are so many issues with Section 8 that a lot of landlords have just 100% opted out of participating in it. And until they fix those issues, which is hard to do because we're talking about socialized housing here and government bureaucracy, we can't fix those issues easily. Then there's nothing that can really be done. So what I would suggest would be, if they want to continue this sort of program, they need to pay the tenant cash directly, right? And then it'd be as though that cash is coming directly from the tenant and going to the landlord to pay the bills, okay? No, checks getting sent from the government to the landlord. No inspections, none of this other nonsense, Just allow tenants to go out there and shop for housing just like everyone else and not have to jump through all these additional hoops. Allow landlords to get paid from these, tenants who are getting housing assistance just like they get paid from everyone else. And the problem is mostly resolved, but they're not going to do that. They believe, it's ripe for fraud if that happens. Well, guess what? You're never going to be able to 100% eliminate fraud. But if you want the most efficient system that actually helps the most number of tenants and gets landlords the money they need without having to jump through all your hoops of bureaucracy, then that's what you're going to have to do.